Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 47. Lu Shu took the dog back to the village. He was sitting in the carriage playing with it all the way, his face never stopped smiling and occasionally engaging in some unknown conversation with the dog. Seeing him like this, Shen Cao couldn't help but think that if he had his own child, he would surely cherish and maybe even spoil them. Xiao Wu, do you want children? Shen Cao asked. Why? Lu Shu instinctively looked at his stomach. Can you give birth? Of course not. Then why are you asking? Lu Shu thought for a moment and shook his head. I don't like children. My eldest brother's 2 children are so naughty, I just want to beat them when I see them. What about well-behaved children? Well-behaved ones, of course I like them. If well-behaved ones, then not just children, I like adults, too. Lu Shu turned around and sat on Shen Cao's lap, teasingly stroking his chin. Don't you agree? Just as they were about to kiss, Fugui protested with a bark. Woof. Lu Shu picked it up and tossed it between them, finally stopping Fugui from disturbing them. Passing by the bamboo weaver's house, they heard a lively noise inside. They got out of the carriage and saw the bamboo weaver chasing 2 children in the yard. What are they playing? Lu Shu jumped out of the cart and walked to their door to ask. They're making too much noise, the bamboo weaver said breathlessly, then hurried to chase the 2 children who were about to climb onto the roof, anxiously shouting, Don't climb up there, you'll fall. Smoke rose from the chimney and Lu Shu curiously approached the kitchen door and saw the new wife of the bamboo weaver cooking. She turned around, saw him, and smiled. Young master, do you remember me? Naturally, you've visited elder brother's shop several times. Yes, I initially just to inquire about you for my sisters, but in the end, I became interested in you. The woman smiled. By the way, I'm Lu Kaihuai, what should I call you? Just call me Xiao Wu. Lu Shu pointed to Shen Cao who followed closely. He's called Cao Shen. Nice to meet you. Lu Kaihuai smiled. Shen Cao nodded in acknowledgement, then looked at Lu Shu and asked quietly, What about her sisters? It's just a group of customers who come to the shop just to see you, Lu Shu scoffed. Lu Kaihuai fried the dishes feeling a scent of vinegar inexplicably rising. At this moment, Fugui in the yard suddenly shouted anxiously, as if roaring after being frightened. Lu Shu immediately ran out and saw the 2 children holding sticks and hitting Fugui. What are you doing? Are you asking for a beating? Lu Shu quickly took away their sticks in 3 or 2 steps, glared at them fiercely and lovingly touched Fugui's head. The bamboo weaver quickly apologized, saying he hadn't noticed. Shen Cao stepped forward with his voice low, Brother shouldn't do it for them. Let them apologize themselves. The 2 children grinned, turned around to run away, but Shen Cao grabbed the older one by the hand and pulled him back. This is not a joke, apologize to him and Fugui. Don't think you can always be indulged just because you're children, Shen Cao lectured. I won't apologize, the older child stubbornly said. Hearing the commotion, Lu Kaihuai ran out and seeing the situation, picked up a stick and beat them. I've told you so many times, don't cause trouble for others, why don't you listen? The 2 children cried and wailed loudly. Lu Kaihuai beat them while they cried, then apologized to Lu Shu, I'm really sorry, they haven't had a father since they were young. I'm busy every day and can't take care of them much and so they became like this, I'm really sorry. Beating them like this won't work. Scars heal and they will forget the pain, then they'll only get worse next time, Shen Cao said, send them to school and learn what is proper conduct. I want to send them too, but the school is too expensive. I just thought, when they grow up, maybe they'll understand, Lu Kaihuai said tearfully. I'll send them, I'll pay for it. The bamboo weaver whispered. What are you saying? We haven't even married yet, how can I use your money? Lu Kaihuai directly refused, rest assured, I'll find a way, I didn't mean to bring these 2 children to trouble you. Lu Shu left them to discuss their family affairs and left with Fugui. Shen Cao followed closely behind, touched Fugui's head and said, "Let me see if there are any injuries, fortunately nothing has swollen. You see, not every child is likable. I don't like children at all. Fugui is more sensible than any child." Lu Shu exclaimed. "Yes, Fugui is the most sensible." Upon returning to their courtyard, Lu Shu set the dog down and it immediately darted around the yard, startling the hens, causing them to flap their wings and squawk in a panic. "Oh dear, Fugui, don't step on their eggs!" Lu Shu shouted. 2 eggs in the chicken coop were smashed under its feet, which infuriated him to no end. He grabbed Fugui by the collar and dragged it to a corner, scolding it harshly. Shen Cao couldn't help but chuckle. During dinner, Lu Shu noticed there was a bit too much porridge in the pot. "Oh no, looks like I cooked too much. With this weather, it might not keep until tomorrow." "It's not too much. We have one more mouth to feed at home now." Shen Cao served a separate bowl for Fugui. After dinner, he brought out a few worn-out clothes and stacked them in a corner of the hall to make a bed for Fugui. The next morning, Lu Shu was awakened by the crowing of chickens and barking of dogs outside. Stepping into the courtyard, he saw Fugui engaged in a standoff with several hens. In just one night, Fugui had adapted to its surroundings and wandered around who knows where, turning its originally white fur into a dirty mess. Lu Shu was fuming with anger. "For heaven's sake, Fugui, who let you get this dirty?" he yelled from the doorway. "Wake up and wash your face." Shen Cao came out with a bucket of water from the kitchen, placed it in the yard, and waved to Fugui. "Come here, Fugui." Fugui seemed to have developed a liking for the person who had made its bed and obediently went over to him, only to be immediately bathed. However, it wasn't used to strangers washing it and it tried to run off with a few attempts. Shen Cao patiently spoke to it and calmed it down. "Fugui, give me your paw." Lu Shu stepped forward, extending his hand, and Fugui habitually placed its right paw on it. "Stay still, don't move." Fugui obediently stood there, allowing Shen Cao to scrub and wash it. "It listens to you so well. It doesn't seem like it was just picked up. It looks like it's been raised by you for years," Shen Cao chuckled. "I used to have dogs at home, so I know some training methods." Lu Shu smiled awkwardly, helping to scrub the dog. Unable to hold back, he said, "You treat dogs so well. If we have children in the future, will you be as good to them? Or do you just really like dogs?" Shen Cao smiled, "I love all good things." Lu Shu immediately looked up at him. "It's rare to see you so fond of something. There's not much entertainment in this village, so having a dog to accompany you is nice," Shen Cao said tenderly, drying Fugui off and letting it play. Turning his head, he saw Lu Shu looking at him affectionately, his eyes filled with infatuation. "Let's get married, Ah Cow," Lu Shu suddenly said, "I can't stand it anymore, I really want to get married with you." Shen Cao was momentarily stunned, then smiled, "All right. When? After we've both retired, I'll go propose to your family," Shen Cao said. "Deal. It's settled." Lu Shu thought about quickly getting his mother's approval and preparing the betrothal gifts. When they arrived in town, as soon as they entered the shop, they heard the Zhang siblings discussing the guests from last night. "I didn't expect Mrs. Lu to be so young and beautiful, so generous, and capable of managing most of the Lu family's business. It's truly admirable. I wish I could be as capable as her," Zhang Moshan said enviously. "Mei, you could be too, but why do I always feel a strong sense of familiarity with Mrs. Lu?" Zhang Moyang muttered. "You saw her when you were young, so feeling familiar with her is normal. Maybe. I don't want to think about it anymore." "Mrs. Lu?" Shen Cao walked in and casually asked. Lu Shu's heart skipped a beat. "Oh, you mean the lady from the Jinling Lu family? Although she's from the 4th branch, she's been actively involved in business these years, so everyone's used to calling her Mrs. Lu. Yesterday, when she passed through town, we invited her over for a simple meal. She's very straightforward. Upon hearing that we young folks opened a rouge shop, she didn't ridicule or belittle us. Instead, she was willing to invest to expand our store. She's much better than my father. He's never approved of such ventures. Zhang Moyang said. It seems this Mrs. Lu is quite easy to get along with, Shen Kao commented. Yes. Lu Shu remained silent but secretly gave Zhang Moyang a thumbs up in his mind, thinking, keep going, you're doing great. I just don't understand how such a capable person like her raised such a prodigal son, Zhang Moyang pondered aloud. Lu Shu, ... Before Shen Kao could ask more, Lu Shu interrupted, we have a visitor. Stop chatting and get back to work. Each person returned to their tasks. When things settled down, Lu Shu found an excuse to check on the craftsman's progress. After a while, a soldier arrived at the shop who was somewhat familiar to Shen Kao. He immediately realized this was someone from the prefectural yamen. Young Master K, this is a letter from the magistrate. The soldier presented him with a letter. Shen Kao took it and saw the words to be opened by Cao Shen on the envelope. After thanking the soldier under the gaze of the Zhang siblings, he entered a secluded room and tore open the envelope. Inside was another letter with the real correspondence. To be personally opened by Shen Kao. The handwriting was unmistakably that of Master Shen from the Hanlin Academy. He sent the letter through his elder brother, so his father could only send it back to his elder brother. To prevent his false identity from being inadvertently exposed, his elder brother had specially added an outer envelope. As he read the letter, it began with a very polite rebuke from Master Shen, only mentioning the actual matter towards the end. It stated that the engagement was a commitment between the two families for many years. If he insisted on breaking it, he must return home, and the family would personally go to the Lu family in Jinling to apologize and resolve the matter face-to-face before it could be settled. His eyes lit up. Jinling Lu family? So, the engagement was actually with the Lu family that Zhang Moyang had mentioned before? Where is Mrs. Lu now? He immediately went to ask Zhang Moyang. At the Yunlei Inn. What's going on? Zhang Moyang replied, but Shen Kao had already rushed out. He ran all the way to Yunlei Inn and asked the waiter, which room does Mrs. Lu stay in? Mrs. Lu? Who is she? The waiter looked confused. She's a young, beautiful, and elegant lady, Shen Kao summarized based on Zhang's siblings' conversation. Oh, that lady. She has already left here. Shen Kao's hopes were dashed. He couldn't help but think of the instructions in the letter urging him to hurry back to the capital. Meanwhile, outside the city in a carriage, Lu Yuezhi was very displeased. You came to rush me early in the morning. Do you still think of me as your mother? Of course I do. Lu Shu massaged her shoulders and waist. But Mom, you also need to consider your son's lifelong happiness. I really can't wait to marry Ah Kao. Every moment feels too long. I was planning to formally meet him. Once we marry him into the Lu family, you can see him whenever you want. Lu Yuezhi chuckled. All right, I'll go back and talk to the old man. You take care of yourself here, don't make me worry, okay? I got it, I got it. Lu Shu suddenly became curious. Wait, how did you suddenly come to terms overnight? I tossed and turned yesterday. Early in the morning at the inn, I met a master and had him read your birth chart for marriage prospects, Lu Yuezhi said. What did the master say? He said your destined partner is involved mutual avoidance. I thought it's not just that you don't like that boy from the Shen family, maybe he also feels you're not suitable for his status. We're from a merchant background, so it's quite a leap. Even if you marry, you probably won't get along well. There wouldn't be much harmony between you then. Mother, you're right. But why does this master's words sound so familiar? Who is this master? His monk name is Hui Shang. Indeed, it was him. After seeing her off for a while, Lu Yuejia sent him away. After watching the carriage disappear from view, he returned alone to the city. It just so happened that he met Hui Shang buying steamed buns at the city gate. Oh, what a coincidence! Lu Shu casually grabbed a steamed bun from his hand. Why are you snatching my bun? Hui Shang mumbled with a mouthful of food. You can't even spare one bun. Lu Shu opened his mouth and took a big bite. Didn't you go out to beg for alms today? I earned some money and just treating myself. Lu Shu laughed. Looks like Master Hui Shang still has some skill in making money. Barely. Speaking of which, it's strange. The lady I met today gave me a birth chart. Guess what? Lu Shu swallowed nervously. What happened? It's exactly the same as the one you gave me last time. Such a coincidence, haha. Do you know what's even more coincidental? Hui Shang asked meaningfully. What is it? I heard that young Master Lu Lu Shu stuffed the steamed bun into his mouth, silencing him, and dragged him to a deserted corner, smiling slyly, sorry, buddy, you know too much. End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 48. Hui Shang looked at him as his eyes gradually turned fierce, suspecting that he might be disposed of at any moment, and asked, What are you trying to do? I beg you. Please don't expose me. Lu Shu pleaded. Brother, you're my only real brother. Lu Shu quickly squeezed out 2 tears, looking very pitiful. I have my reasons for doing this. What reasons? Hui Shang asked. You know, Ah Cao doesn't like dandies. I don't want him to start disliking me so soon. But you're deceiving him. I know. When the time is right, I'll tell him the truth. What time? When will that be? Lu Shu hesitated for a moment, then said, after he breaks off his previous engagement, then I'll tell him. I am a monk. Monks do not lie. You don't have to say anything. Can't you just keep it to yourself? Lu Shu pleaded, please help me, pretend you don't know about this. Can you do that? Besides, think about it, if he finds out from you, he'll definitely be very angry. We might be really finished then. But if I tell him myself later, he might not be as angry. Hui Shang pursed his lips and remained silent for a long time. Hui Shang, my good brother, Master Hui Shang. Hui Shang shuddered. Shut up. Lu Shu continued, as the old saying goes, it's better to demolish 10 temples than to break one marriage. Your compassionate monk heart surely can't bear to break us apart, right? When it comes to temples, Hui Shang suddenly looked at him. Our temple has been in disrepair for many years due to having few pilgrims and hasn't been renovated for a long time. I'll renovate your temple. The path to the temple is quite muddy. I'll pave the way for you. The vegetarian meals are the same every day. I'll buy groceries for you. The beds are very hard. I'll sleep for you. Oh no, I mean, I'll replace them with elaborately carved soft beds for you. Amitabha, with your kindness, I'll thank you on behalf of the Buddha. Hui Shang smiled. As for my matter. What matter? Hui Shang, looking puzzled, and took out a steamed bun from his pocket and continued eating. All right, give me some of your bun. Lu Shu nodded in satisfaction, took out a few silver bills from his pocket. This is the allowance my mother gave me just now. Take it to repair the temple. Hui Shang took a look and gasped in surprise, gaining a better understanding of young Master Liu's wealth. He handed over half of the steamed bun. Please enjoy, young Master Liu. Don't call me young Master Liu again, be careful not to reveal our secret. All right, young Master Liu. I'll beat you. After finishing the bun, the two parted ways. Hui Shang took the silver bills to start repairing the temple, while Lu Shu returned to the rouge shop and was immediately pulled into the backyard by Zhang Moshan. You're back just in time. That young lady has arrived. Come and check it out. Zhang Moshan said. Lu Shu looked up and saw the girl with a birthmark on her face sitting nervously at the stone table. As soon as she caught his gaze, she awkwardly lowered her head. Don't be afraid, I like men. Lu Shu smiled and approached her, examining her face. Moshan will also be here to accompany you. Is that okay? The woman pursed her lips and nodded softly, explaining softly, I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of others' eyes, especially men's. I understand. You can close your eyes. The woman closed her eyes and clearly felt him applying makeup on her face with powder. His movements were gentle. Then he lightly brushed in the direction of the birthmark, continuously outlining it with a brush. She was curious about what he was doing. Zhang Moshan stood aside, observing and learning. Carelessly, he raised his head and saw two heads peering out from the door. Shen Cao and Zhang Moyang were quietly peeking, drawn in by Lu Shu's focused and serious demeanor, and unintentionally stared for a long moment. Lu Shu also noticed them, turned his head and met Shen Cao's gaze directly. The two smiled at each other. He then turned back to continue his work. Don't stare. Shen Cao pulled Zhang Moyang back. Focus on running the shop properly. After an uncertain amount of time, the woman heard the sound of Lu Shu placing the makeup brush on the table. Open your eyes and take a look. The woman's eyelashes trembled slightly. She nervously opened her eyes and subconsciously looked at Zhang Moshan. Zhang Moshan was gazing at her in a trance. After a while, he held up a bronze mirror in front of her and smiled, there's quite a change. Take a look and see if you like it. In the bronze mirror, the woman's facial features were delicately enhanced, and the charm of her eyebrows and eyes was magnified. Most importantly, the birthmark she cared much about had transformed into a small rose. The bluish birthmark had been extended into a floral branch, blooming into a vibrant red flower. It was bold yet strangely attractive, captivating in its uniqueness. Incredulously, she leaned closer to the mirror until she confirmed that it was indeed her face. Tears welled up in her eyes. Don't cry, be careful not to ruin the makeup. Lu Shu hurriedly handed her a handkerchief. The woman smiled through her tears. Thank you. When Zhang Moyang and Shen Cao saw the woman come out to pay, their expressions were equally dumbfounded. The woman still felt somewhat shy under others' gazes, but when she realized that they were admiring looks, her shyness was reduced by a layer. She wished she could always walk with her head held high. Miss, you've overpaid. It's only 300 yuan. Shen Cao said. Everyone looked and saw that the girl had actually pulled out 10 taels of silver directly. No, it's not much. Thank you. Over these years, I've spent quite a bit just seeing doctors. The woman turned to Lu Shu and smiled slightly, thank you. I'll come find you next time. My pleasure. Lu Shu respectfully replied to his important customer. As she walked out the door, she quickly attracted the attention of passers-by, all admiring the makeup on her face. Finally lifting her head after years of keeping it low. In less than 2 days, the number of customers in the store doubled, all requesting rose makeup. Lu Shu was kept busy, and he constantly urged Zhang Moshan to learn quickly to alleviate the pressure on him. Zhang Moshan went back and practiced overnight. Finally, she mastered the essentials, and Lu Shu returned to the village with Shen Cao, not coming to town for several days. It wasn't intentional laziness, but they finally found an accountant for the store, so Shen Cao no longer needed to help. As for Lu Shu, he planned to come back to study new cosmetics. The woman with the birthmark had reminded him that the currently available rouge and powder only enhanced beauty and couldn't effectively cover obvious scars or flaws. If everyone needed this much effort for makeup, it would be too time-consuming. So, he wanted to try creating a powder that could conceal these obvious imperfections. After proposing this idea, the others agreed, so they asked him to return. During this busy time, Shen Cao also kept himself occupied, returning to the village to help with the harvest. Although his father's letter mentioned him returning to the capital to discuss breaking off the engagement, the Mid-Autumn Festival was just a few days away, and he planned to accompany Xiao Wu here before he set off. Now it was time to harvest the rice, and the villagers had already harvested quite a bit, so he finally had time to go to the fields to check. Lu Shu also found time to come along. After all, it was he who planted the seedlings and wanted to see how their sacrifice paid off. The result was not surprising at all. It couldn't be said that there was no harvest at all, at least it ensured the chickens food. These grains are too small. Lu Shu pinched a few, and they broke apart with a flick of his fingers. After the rice husks cracked open, the grains inside were pitifully small. Ah, let's wait until next year. We definitely won't grow it like this again. Yet. Shen Cao nodded. Let's work hard next year. Although their family didn't have much harvest, others did, and they were short of manpower to help. So, Shen Cao asked Lu Shu to stay at home and work on his cosmetics, while he went to help the villagers. The villagers were used to working as a team. Several families with good relationships would gather to help each other with harvesting. Today they would work at one person's field, and tomorrow at another. The host family would provide meals for the day. In the field, everyone cut rice while chatting and laughing, asking Shen Cao about Xiao Wu's shop. There was envy in their words. Although merchants have lower status than us, our lives aren't as good as theirs. I think, Xiao Wu, this lad makes money quickly. He's going to make a fortune soon. Aunt Zhu said. That's right. Ah, our family doesn't have the brains to do business. After saying this, Sister Xiang shouted, Brother K, when Xiao Wu gets rich later, he won't live here anymore, right? At these words, the bamboo weaver who had been silently working suddenly looked up, nervously looking at Shen Cao, as if afraid he would say Xiao Wu was about to leave soon. It's hard to say. Shen Cao smiled. But wherever he goes, he won't forget you all. That's good, Sister Xiang said cheerfully. It's good to leave our remote and impoverished place. There's really nothing here to stay for. Shen Cao slowly suppressed his smile, surveyed the vast rice fields, glanced at the hard-working villagers, and felt an indescribable emotion. If only everyone could live a prosperous life. During dinner, Aunt Zhu prepared a large table of dishes for the guests and even specially slaughtered a chicken. Shen Cao didn't eat much and was about to take his leave when Aunt Zhu secretly pulled him into the kitchen. She packed several red eggs, 2 big chicken legs, and a jug of wine for him, whispering, I guess you're going back to find Xiao Wu. Take these back and eat together. Thank you. Shen Cao accepted Aunt Zhu's kindness and hurried back to his courtyard. As soon as he entered, he called out for Xiao Wu. I'm here. Lu Shu opened the window, waved at him, with a steamed bun in his mouth. Shen Cao walked up to the window and saw Lu Shu under candlelight, testing the new cosmetics on the back of his hand. Are you hungry? Kind of, luckily I brought back some steamed buns from town, they're not stale yet. Stop eating steamed buns. Shen Cao took the bun from his mouth. Luxury came. Lu Fugui caught the bun in its mouth obediently and started eating it. Lu Shu looked at his own food that suddenly turned into dog food, and looked at Shen Cao with a pitiful gaze. Shen Cao smiled and stuffed a chicken leg into his mouth. Eat this. A chicken leg. Lu Shu's eyes lit up, holding the chicken leg and began eating. Have you finished eating so quickly? I ate faster so I came back early. Really? Lu Shu smiled meaningfully. Since you eat fast, why are you also eating chicken legs? Did you not eat enough and didn't think there's someone at home? I got it. Shen Cao took out several red eggs and placed them on the windowsill. And wine, don't hide it, I've seen it. Shen Cao admitted defeat and also brought out the wine. After finishing the chicken leg, Lu Shu took the wine jug and took a few sips, letting out a satisfied sigh, offering it to him, want a sip? Shen Cao took a sip from his hand, bowed his head and drank it as his face quickly turned red. Lu Shu was laughing, but indeed he dared not let him drink any more. If I had known you 2 years earlier, with your drinking capacity, I wouldn't have thought much of you. Lu Shu raised his eyebrows provocatively in a proud manner. I'm someone who can drink all night with others. Well, then we probably wouldn't have met. I don't go to the brothels or the gambling halls to meet friends, Shen Cao replied. The two men looked at each other and laughed simultaneously, finding it hard to resist the delightful irony of their fate. By the way, I have to go back to the capital after the Mid-Autumn Festival, Shen Cao mentioned the main business. Lu Shu was puzzled, curious, what are you going back for? To break off the engagement. Really? Lu Shu was excited. Yeah, I have to go back and handle this myself. Well, that's necessary, but you must not get dazzled by the glamour as soon as you return to the capital. Lu Shu ordered sternly. Shen Cao chuckled, after seeing someone as charming as you, who else could dazzle me? Well, I am indeed the most dashing in the world. Lu Shu proudly raised his chin, swallowed an egg in one gulp, and almost choked. Cough, cough. Water, no. Wine, give me wine. End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 49. During the Mid-Autumn Festival, as the harvest season came to an end, the villagers took this rare opportunity to rest. Some visited relatives, while others slaughtered chickens to entertain guests. Shen Cao and Lu Shu were reluctant to slaughter their own chickens, so they asked the bamboo weaver to buy one for them from town along with some fruits and snacks. Unexpectedly, Hui Shang came back with the bamboo weaver. Why are you here? Lu Shu asked. On such a happy occasion, of course we should be together. I was afraid you two would feel lonely, so I came to keep you company, Hui Shang generously said. Who asked you to accompany us? Lu Shu rarely wanted to spend sweet and intimate time with Shen Cao. Why, am I not welcome? Hui Shang said meaningfully. Oh, I wonder when that willow tree outside the village. Welcome, of course you're welcome. Lu Shu hurriedly interrupted. Really? Really, really? It's hot outside. Master, please come in and have a seat. Lu Shu assisted him inside, pinching his facial features until they distorted. After Hui Shang sat down for a while, a soldier came from outside, saying it was under Lord Shen's orders to deliver something to them. Shen Cao took it and checked it. There were mooncakes, candied fruits, and jujube cakes that he loved as a child. He also packed a basket of eggs and a few packets of pickles and asked the soldier to send them back. Tisk, tisk. Lu Shu couldn't help but tease, you are too close to Lord Shen to give him even eggs. No, I left some for you. Shen Cao opened another basket full of eggs. Lu Shu smiled satisfactorily. Eat some jujube cakes. Shen Cao placed the snacks on the table. Lu Shu didn't want to eat what Shen Hui gave him, but Hui Shang ate them one after another, making him even more unhappy. Hey, leave some for me. Are you going to finish them off all by yourself? Lu Shu quickly grabbed two, shoved one into his mouth, and fed the other to Shen Cao. Shen Cao took a bite and wiped the crumbs from his mouth. Hui Shang, small action hurts much. Suffering a bit with indigestion, Hui Shang looked at Shen Cao, who had gone out to feed the dog, and then secretly asked, do you like Xiao Wu very much? Yeah. Shen Cao, who had eaten too much jujube paste and felt a little nauseous, was pouring tea, and he poured a cup for him as well. What do you like about him? People will change with time and circumstances. If one day, you find that he is no longer the person you knew, what would you do? Hui Shang asked. How could he change so much that I wouldn't recognize him? Shen Cao was puzzled. Even in such a harsh day, he always keeps a smile on his face. I can hardly imagine what could affect him so. When he was very rich. Rich people's happiness is too much, and there are too many temptations. Ever since Hui Shang found out that Xiao Wu was the son of the richest man in Jiangnan, he had been worrying for Shen Cao. He feared that Xiao Wu might only find this place interesting temporarily. Once he had enough of the hard times, he might just leave for Jinling, acting as a young master again and forgetting about the people here. After some thought, Hui Shang carefully chose his words and asked, "He's doing business now, right? What if one day he becomes very successful, lives a luxurious life, and no longer respects a poor lad like you? What will you do then?" "He won't," Shen Cao said nonchalantly, taking a sip of tea and feeling relieved after the bitterness. Seeing Hui Shang still wore a worried expression, he couldn't help but smile. "If one day he really stops liking me, it's okay. At least he'll be living a prosperous and happy life. He only accompanied me through hardships temporarily. How can I expect him to be burdened by that and accompany me through hardship for a lifetime?" Hui Shang's furrowed brow slowly relaxed, and he gave Shen Cao a faint smile. "If you weren't in the secular world, I would really want you to be my younger brother." "Such wisdom!" Shen Cao chuckled. "No need for that. I'm quite mundane. Ordinary people have ordinary desires." "Ah cow!" Lu Shu's shout came from the courtyard. "Come and help. There's a wild dog trying to steal our chickens." Shen Cao immediately went out. Lu Fugui already chased out the wild dog. Lu Shu angrily cursed at the dog that had run away. "Don't let me see you again. I swear I'll shoot you with an arrow. It makes me so angry." "How are the chickens?" "They're scared." Lu Shu looked heartbroken as he inspected their most valuable asset, gently touching the back of the old mother hen and said sadly, "What if it gets too scared to lay eggs? The loss would be too great." Hui Shang stood nearby, watching this scene and seeing Lu Shu's distressed expression. Suddenly, he felt that he had worried needlessly. Perhaps after this period of tempering, young Master Lu had learned to cherish food and appreciate the people around him? After calming Lu Shu's emotions, Shen Cao inspected around the courtyard and found a small dog hole in a corner, which the wild dog had likely used to enter. Just as he was about to find the bamboo weaver to borrow some tools, he saw a carriage stop outside the courtyard gate, and the Zhang siblings had arrived. "Why are you here too?" Lu Shu asked. "It's a big festival. We were afraid you two would be lonely, so we came to accompany you." Zhang Moyang walked in with several boxes of food. But when he saw the dilapidated courtyard, he was stunned. "No way! You live here?" Zhang Moshan pulled his sleeve on the side, intentionally changing the subject. "We came uninvited. Did we disturb you?" Lu Shu, ... "Sorry. Sorry for disturbing. My private celebration for two, wah. Please come in." Shen Cao led them into the house and busily served tea and poured water. Zhang Moyang looked at Hui Shang, whom he hadn't seen in a long time. He sat down beside him and asked, "I heard you've been repairing temples recently." "Yet. Where did you get the money?" "I met a great benefactor." "Where did you meet?" "Can I meet them, too?" "It's all about fate." So superstitious. Zhang Moyang stopped chatting with him, turned to look at the facilities inside the house and was shocked. "You two really live here? Can people even live here? Why couldn't we?" Lu Shu retorted. "This isn't even as good as where my servants live. How about this, you move to my place, and I'll free up a room for you," Zhang Moyang generously offered. "No need, it's inconvenient," Lu Shu firmly refused. "What's inconvenient? It's right in town. We can't talk about love there." At noon, Shen Cao cooked for everyone. The Zhang siblings were surprised to see him bustling in the kitchen for the first time. They usually thought of Shen Cao as a cultured scholar who couldn't carry or chop wood, but unexpectedly, he had this side to him, chopping wood, cooking, and even sewing clothes. When Lu Shu mentioned his clothes being torn and Shen Cao offered to sew them later, Both siblings widened their eyes in unison. For some reason, Zhang Moyang suddenly said, "When you marry, you should marry a virtuous woman." Shen Kao glanced sideways at him, his gaze faintly scanning. Lu Shu, however, was greatly satisfied and patted Shen Kao's shoulder in approval. "You're right. Xiao Wu, the fire is dying down," Shen Kao reminded. "Coming. Well, Xiao Wu will probably be a henpecked husband in the future," Zhang Moyang concluded. "You're right." Lu Shu echoed again. Shen Kao, _. After the meal was served, everyone's expressions were somewhat stunned. The Zhang siblings were astonished at how terrible his cooking skills were, while Lu Shu and Hui Shang suspected he had secretly studied somewhere. "Did you go somewhere to learn cooking?" Lu Shu asked first. "Yeah, these days I've been eating at the villagers' houses and observed in their kitchens for a while, learning a bit," Shen Kao explained. Lu Shu gave him a thumbs up. "It's so touching." "Hey!" Zhang Moyang picked up a piece of overcooked vegetable. "Since when did vegetables turn out so burnt?" Hui Shang commented, "Be content. At least you can still tell it's vegetables." "And before, you couldn't tell?" Zhang Moyang asked. Hui Shang nodded. "If he didn't tell us, we wouldn't have known what we were eating. Whether it's a blessing or a curse, it's all up to fate." The siblings, O_O. "Brother, I have a deeper understanding of you now," Zhang Moyang said to Shen Kao before turning to Lu Shu with a solemn expression. "And you, too." Lu Shu, O_O. "Love really makes people blind," Zhang Moyang remarked. After dinner, the siblings secretly ate a lot of snacks to fill their stomachs. They then followed them to stroll around nearby, enjoying the pastoral scenery. Suddenly, Zhang Moyang had a whimsical idea and wanted to go hunting in the mountains and forests, persuading Lu Shu to take him along for a bit of fun. Reluctantly, Lu Shu had to take him to play in the mountains, with Zhang Moshan also tagging along. By dusk, they hadn't caught any game but returned with 2 children. To be precise, it was 2 children clinging to Lu Shu's legs, pleading desperately, "Please teach us archery. We want to play, too. Let go." Lu Shu tried to pull his pants away desperately, glaring at Zhang Moyang who was gloating nearby. "Won't you help?" Zhang Moyang stood by idly, waiting to see the embarrassed look on Lu Shu's face as his pants were being pulled down. Fortunately, the bamboo weaver arrived just in time and rescued him from the clutches of the 2 children, apologizing with a guilty expression, "Sorry, I should have been more vigilant." "It's not your fault, big brother. Don't blame yourself for everything," Lu Shu said, then leaned in close and whispered, "With the whole family here for the Mid-Autumn Festival, what are your plans?" The bamboo weaver blushed slightly and replied softly, "After sending the children to school, we'll get married." "Who's paying for it?" Xiao Hui said she would pay for it herself. These days, she works during the day and does sewing jobs at night for others. "It's quite hard, so I want to help her out a bit, but she won't let me." Lu Shu finally relaxed, relieved that this older brother wasn't being deceived. He looked down at the 2 mischievous children and asked, "You want to learn archery?" "Yes," the 2 children chorused eagerly. "Then you'll have to listen to me obediently from now on." "Can you do that?" "We can." "Good. Now go back with Big Brother for dinner, and come find me again tomorrow." "Yes, sir." The bamboo weaver watched the suddenly obedient children with some disbelief, admiringly glanced at Lu Shu, then took the 2 children back home. "It's getting late, we should head back too," Zhang Moyang said. "No need to see us off. Insensitive." Back in the courtyard, Lu Shu realized Hui Shang had left at some point, leaving Shen Kao alone, busily moving stones around. He quickly ran up to him. "Ah Kao, what are you doing?" "Filling up this hole so wild dogs won't get in," Shen Kao replied. "I'll help you." "No need, It'll be done soon. Go inside and rest. Shen Kao continued moving the stones, and seeing Lu Shu approaching, he hurriedly added, "Don't come near me, I smell bad." "Where do you smell bad?" Lu Shu leaned closer, sniffed twice, then quickly kissed him on the cheek. "You're the sweetest, Ah Kao." Shen Kao smiled and finished blocking the hole with the last stone. He looked at Lu Shu standing nearby, approached him, and kissed him softly on the lips. Lu Shu leaned against the wall, both of them sweating lightly. In the twilight's lingering warmth, they exchanged their scents until their bodies grew warmer, reluctantly parting. After dinner, the two sat in the courtyard under the moonlight, drinking tea and eating mooncakes, enjoying a leisurely moment. Shen Kao couldn't help but start tallying tasks. He had to mend Xiao Wu's torn clothes, rebuild Lu Fu's doghouse that had been dug up, buy more rice from Aunt Zhu, add a quilt to Xiao Wu's bed for the autumn, and inform the bamboo weaver's family that Xiao Wu might be eating at their place for a while. This departure would likely be for more than a month, and he needed to ensure that Xiao Wu wouldn't encounter any troubles during this time. Normally, he didn't feel much, but all of a sudden, he felt overwhelmed by the many household chores and worries. Lu Shu watched him busy himself around, silently following him wherever he went. For a long time, neither of them said a word, one quietly doing everything, the other quietly watching. They avoided eye contact as if deliberately. As the night grew deeper, Shen Kao finally began to pack. There wasn't much to take: 2 sets of clothes, cherished paintings, a gardening manual to bring along for documenting crops along the way, and finally, Xiao Wu's portrait. When Shen Kao carefully placed the portrait into his luggage, Lu Shu couldn't control himself anymore. His mouth drooped as tears streamed down his cheeks like the opening of floodgates. Only after Shen Kao finished tying up the bundle and turned around did he notice Lu Shu crying. He stood there silently, watching his tears flow, feeling even more heartbroken. He pulled Lu Shu into his arms and said softly, "I'll be back soon, and then we'll get married." Lu Shu nodded. "Xiao Wu. Don't cry, it pains me." Lu Shu choked back his emotions and gritted his teeth. Finding it difficult to control himself, he buried his head in Shen Kao's shoulder. Shen Kao patted his back, comforting him softly. Lu Shu lifted his head, eyes red with desire. He urgently nibbled on Shen Kao's lips and neck, his breathing quickening. He choked out, "Come back soon." "Yeah, I will." "Ah Kao, I feel uneasy, can we?" The two stumbled onto the bed. Shen Kao rolled over, looking down at the person with red-rimmed eyes, his shirt open wide, more alluring than countless worldly spring scenes. "I'll help you." The candle light flickered slightly, seeming to dodge their increasingly urgent breaths. After a heavy gasp, the last bit of candle light extinguished, leaving the room in darkness. Moments later, a new candle was lit, and Shen Kao got up to wash his hands before returning to lie down again. Lu Shu hugged him softly, letting out a satisfied sigh, staring at his neck for a long while. Suddenly, he leaned over and kissed him deeply, leaving a red mark. "There, now everyone will know you're taken." Shen Kao touched his neck and chuckled lightly, holding him close to sleep. "Go to sleep early. Are you going to meet that person you're breaking off the engagement with?" Lu Shu asked. "I suppose so. Is he good looking?" After confirming it was from the Jinling Lu family, Shen Kao secretly inquired through Zhang Moyang, and according to Zhang Moyang, he had a handsome appearance but poor reputation. "Supposedly, he is." "Just supposedly. It's very likely to be a lie." "Yeah, and he has a bad reputation." Lu Shu was relieved. "Then this person definitely won't work. You won't like him." "I didn't like him to begin with." "What exactly are you worried about?" Shen Kao chuckled. "I'm afraid that as soon as that lad sees you, he'll lose his soul. You're so good looking, who wouldn't be dazzled by you? Not everyone is like you. Everyone has eyes to discern beauty from ugliness." Lu Shu finished and he touched his face with concern, thinking of a bad idea. When you meet him, dress up to look ugly, so he won't like you on sight. Otherwise, he might stubbornly refuse to break up with you. That will be very troublesome, right? It could be. If he doesn't agree, it'll be difficult. Exactly, so try to look ugly then, and don't behave so refined. Be a bit rough, got it? Alright, I'll follow your advice. End chapter.